Hi everyone, this is Akash Rajpuria. Today we are going to learn everything about polymorphism. So in previous video we have understood data abstraction. The series is going on right side here. You can have a look at it. Okay. You can watch all the previous videos, abstraction, inheritance, object, class, everything. And now start with polymorphism. Now let's understand polymorphism. It is really a very cool topic, and I would explain you with such a story you will never forget it. Polymorphism means poly means many and morphism means form. Polymorphism. Poly means many and morphism means many forms. Okay, for example, the best example for polymorphism is your and everyone's mother. So she can take up different forms according to your need. Let's say you are very hungry, she would be the world's best chef. Okay, if you want to learn something, like everything whatever you learn, she becomes your first teacher. Okay, in this way she can have different and different forms. If you let's say steal something, if you cheat someone, like she would be the first police to hit you, to clean you, to make you a good person. She would be the judge. So like judge, teacher, the best chef, these are all the different forms of only one person. Okay, this is called as polymorphism. Exactly same thing we are going to see in code. We have three things in polymorphism. The first and the foremost thing is called as method overloading. Okay, we will understand method overloading, method overriding, and operator overloading. Okay, do not worry about this. This words I would make it very simple. So like I explained you, these are the topics for your polymorphism. Okay, that is many forms. Okay, and like I explained you, your mother is the best example for polymorphism. So she can have different roles like a teacher, maybe a chef, okay, then the police for you and every stuff. So now let's understand method overloading. Method overloading means, overload means that when you let's take, there is one worker. Okay, then there is one simple worker is there. Okay, one worker is there. Now we overload this worker, which means that this worker can work for 1 hour, 2 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours in a day. This is called as overloading, which means that one worker can also work for 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 3 hours, 10 hours, 6 hour, like this. Same thing, see the example with the code. I'm creating a function. Let's say it is def. The name of overloading function is, we take a worker function only in the same way. And inside that, we would take multiple inputs. Okay, let's say I would take X, Y, and Z. Three things I'm taking. Okay, so now, first of all, X is right now, I would keep everything none. Okay, so if you want to implement overloading, you need to write here none. Now, for example, I would just mention here, just for your understanding, X stands for here number of hours. Okay, Y stands for the Y here stands for like whether he is, what is his mood. Okay, Y stands for his mood, happy, sad, angry, like that. Third thing, Z is like, will he get the bonus or not. Okay, instead of mood, let's keep only two things here, X and Y, X and Z, only two things. Okay, for now simplicity, two things, number of hours and the bonus. Now I would just check here with a simple if statement. If X equals none and Z is also your equals none, if both the values are none, okay, in that case what you need to do, let's say print there is no bonus, no number of hours are extra. So let's say number of hours are 0 in that case. So let's say the worker is sad right now because you want some work as well as bonus also. Then we give second else if, that if X, okay, we can define the number of hours also. Let's say 10 hours, 20 hours. I would keep it simple. If X is, the bonus hours is less than 10, okay, in that case, and the bonus is also there. If X is less than or equals to 10, I would first write it and then I would explain you each and everything. And Z equals to yes. In that case, I would print dancing worker. Okay, and last I would write here elif instead of this, else, and then if we would write it here, and we would just write the print here. And the last if I am writing here, that is else if, one more else if, that if now x is less than 10, but there is no bonus. Okay, the bonus is not there. In that case, we will print that, okay, no working. We will write here strike. So 10 hours of extra work, but no bonus. So let's say we are writing here no working and it is a strike time. And yeah, else also, okay, we have given a major stuff here. We can write more else and if statement here. We can write a range, but right now I would keep it simple. Okay, and else I would print a normal day. Okay, let's print a normal day. Okay, or let's print if it is more than 10 hours, the number of hours are more than 10. In that case, I would write here just simple that, okay, too much work, hire someone. Okay, now see the real magic here. So this was just up till now I was writing the code. Now I would explain you each and every part here. So now I would call this worker function and see the real magic. In the first worker function, I am not providing anything, which means that my x is none, my z is none. So which means that I am getting output as sad. So my worker has no bonus, okay, and no work, no extra work. So basically he is sad. Okay, let's imagine like that. Some workers may be happy, but we will keep it simple. Now, the second thing we will write here, we would give some extra work to him and extra money. Let's say 5 hours of more work. And yes, we are giving the bonus. Now see, dancing worker. Exactly, this is called as operator overloading. Sorry. Method overloading. There is one method, okay? There is one method, that is worker method. If you don't give anything to this worker, still it is working very, very, very fine. Okay, still you are getting the answer. When you are passing it multiple values, then you are getting some different answer. Okay, so like polymorphism, one function has taken different forms, like it is giving you different outputs, and we are overloading it. Overloading means giving different type of value, different values. So you would get different response. So this is called as operator overloading. If you can think of any real example, also do comment it. I would just give a thumbs up for the best one. Okay, and mention in the next video as well. Now let's see the second example of it. This was all about method overloading, where you can give multiple inputs, like without inputs, with inputs, still your program works, your method works. Now coming to the next part of it, after method overloading, okay, you have method overriding. This is also very important and interesting concept, method overriding. This is really very simple, okay, really very simple. Let's understand this method overriding. So for that, I would create one class, very simple. Let's say our parent class, let's bring in Gajodhar, okay, and we would write here that right now he has a property of, Gajodhar has a property of, and we would write here self, and we would print here that he has 4 crore property. Okay, I have 4 crore property. Okay, now what happens here, after this Gajodhar, we would create one class also, that is the child class. So class, and I would write here the child class, and this is the child of our Gajodhar. Okay, in this I would just mention again the same. Now see, overriding means, overwritten means, overwriting means, see, I would give you a practical example. I have written here something hello, and if I don't write this and I'm changing this only, so I'm making it, let's say, mellow. Okay, melody. I have just changed, just see that exactly a real example. Hello is changed to melody. Okay, hello is changed to melody. So this is called as overriding. Taking the same thing but changing it is called as overriding. So same thing, now this child would take his property, okay, and would change that property. Now just imagine that this child is like, let's say, he has put all the property on horse race. Okay, now he would try to change his property. He was trying to increase the property, but what happened right now is that property got changed, and he is just with I have 40 crores. Okay, let's say 40 crores. He has just doubled that house property now. Double in sense 10 times he has done that. Now see, if I create the child object, okay, that I create C1 equals to child, and if I just print here C1 dot property, so you would see that all the property of the parent is overridden. You would see this. See, all the property of a parent, this property would be gone and the new property would be there here. See that? If I run this, you would see that it is, I have 40 crore property. So it is overriding. We have taken the same and we have overridden that. Okay. But if you create the Gajoda's object, you would get Gajoda's property in that case. G dot property. Okay. And you would see I have 4 crore property because we are not overriding any stuff here. It is a normal method, but the taking the same method and we are changing it. Okay. Because you know that child has all the excess of its parents' properties. So that all the properties have been inherited here, and now he can change that. He can make it double. This can also happen that 4 crore property is now only just 4 rupees left. Okay, so that is called as overriding. Now let's see the last concept for today. Okay, for this video, and that is also very interesting, and that is operator overloading. Now you have already understood method overloading. Method overloading means a worker can do multiple stuff, like he can be happy, he can be sad, like that. Same way, now that was a method, this is an operator. Now your operator can do multiple stuff. You have already studied this in Python. I would just show you the demo. If I do here 3 plus 5, you would see the answer is 8. But if I use the same operator, here with Akash Rajpuria, you would see that it would not add a plus r. Okay, it would do the concatenation. See, same operator, but doing different functions. This is exactly called as operator overloading. Now you would just see the demo of it, how I have implemented this operator overloading. So let me just remove all this. Okay, coming back to the part operator overloading. So for that, we would create one simple class. Okay, let's say the class name is, I would create here a class for operator overloading. So we are understanding here the operators. So let's create a random class, let's say hello. Okay, and inside that I would just write here def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Okay, and we would take one value that is x. Okay, now what I will do, self dot x equals to x. Simple. We have done this already a lot of times. Okay, now I would create an object of it. Okay, so let's say I would create an object of this hello. So object one equals to hello. Okay, and we need to pass a number. Let's say there is 10. Now same way I would create another object. Okay, let's give a name object one and object two so that you can understand it very clearly. These are the two different objects with two different numbers. Okay, so now we know that we got two objects here. If I do object one dot x, you would see it is 10, and object 2 dot x, you would see object 2 dot x, it is 20. Now you know that Python, right now I showed you, you can do string operations like addition, you can do integer operations. But if I try to do object 1 plus object 2, okay, it would not be able to do that. It would not be able to do that. Object 1 and object 2. So it would say that hello objects are not supported here. Object, this part is not supported. So let's give this functionality to our stuff. So how simple it would be, I would explain you. See, we would override the operator. Override means we would overload the operator, which means that we are going to give an additional property to it. So I can just simply do here def, and to give this additional property, you need to use that operator function. And there is a special function for that, underscore underscore add underscore underscore. Okay, and inside that I would give the self object like we always do, and we would take the object 2. Okay, because we want to add two objects here. Simple. Now what I would do here, I would just return simple self dot x, that is this value, because self is coming from here, and then we would return here plus object of dot x. Simple as that. Okay, now see, when I once again create these two objects, and if I try to do here object 1 plus object 2, okay, and just a second, it should be dot here. See, I got the perfect answer. I was able to overload my operator. This means I was able to give the extra functionality. How I did that? I took the object 1 here, object 2 here, and whenever you use plus, this method is automatically called. Like when you create an object, this method is called. These are called as blundered methods. And whenever you use plus, this method is automatically called. Magic methods, these are magic methods in Python. So now what happens here? So what happens here is very simple. Where is my... So now see here what happens. Just a second. Yeah, I got the pen. Yeah. So now when I take object 1 and this add method is called, so this object 1 goes here in the cell and this object 2 goes basically in the object 2. Okay, because of this add method. And now you would take here self.x, which means that the first value, that is 10, and the next value of that object, that is 20. And these two objects are added here. Simple as that. Okay, because object 2 also has the x and object 1 also has the x. So in this way, this add methods, you can add different functionality that is called as operator overloading. To summarize, we have seen polymorphism taking different forms. So in that, we have understood the first thing, method overloading. So how you can pass different parameters, like 1 parameter, 2 parameter, 3 parameter, and using if and else, you can apply method overloading. Okay, never memorize it, remember the stories. Then you have overriding. Riding means that taking the old method and changing that method is basically overriding. And operator, it can be any operator. Operator overloading. Overloading means, see, I'm just adding one more extra functionality to plus. My normal plus would work in the same way. We are adding the extra functionality here to the add. Okay, so this was the complete concept. Tell me the examples below in the comment section. If you have any other example, like I gave you the mother example, we will meet in the next video. Till then, keep smiling. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.